What's up, everybody? Front Porch Chronicles with Clinton Foshee. And today's guest, you probably know from Last Chance You talking some football. But if you really know him from the Coach JB show. He always keeps it real, unfiltered, and says the shit that most people won't. Hence why I fuck with him. Appreciate you coming on today, brother. How are you?
Good, brother. I appreciate you having me.
Good, good. So let's keep right into early life and get right into it. Growing up in Compton, what felt normal to you living day to day that outside people probably wouldn't have thought was normal?
To me, it was just the product of my environment. That's how I grew up. My dad was a grow up there. Obviously, it was all white when he grew up there. When I grew up, it was all black. So it was just obviously a big generational jump there. But he was the first graduate from Compton High. That was the first brother who graduated in his class, 1955, and then they played Compton Centennial High School, who was all black for the CIF championship that year in California high school football. And so that's kind of where it turned right there. And then the Watts riots came about 11 years later. And then I wrote a book, obviously, Hate Me Now, Love Me Later, that kind of explained everything. But he grew up with the great Pete Rozelle, NFL commissioner, Duke Snyder,
Wow.
the Dodger great baseball player, Duke Snyder, Hugh McElhaney, a great running back for the Niners and the Rams. A lot of people, Marilyn Monroe, Kevin Costner, much later, all from Compton. So very affluent neighborhood back in the day. It was kind of the Beverly Hills of California at that time. People don't know that. It was a cow town. Still has the cows and the horses. So Compton came a long way, and now it's kind of Hispanic now. So it's even turning again. So it's just I've seen it all through the early '80s and '90s, and it was gangbang capital of the world for a long, long time in the country. And then that's when I actually grew up in that era. So seen a lot of things, man. People getting shot right on the front porch of our house, on the driveway. A lot of shit happened at that time. So then I later I played at Compton College, and then later I was the only white guy on the team, and then later became the head coach, and I was still the only white guy as the head coach. So full circle, full
So
circle.
I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. One of a thousand reasons why I fuck with you is same thing for me. I grew up Montgomery is known for Rosa Parks. When I went to school there, it was super hood. So I didn't think anything was different. I was the only white boy in the projects
Yeah,
until, I got outside and then I'm like, well, some things look different.
no
When was
doubt.
it that you realized uh, things were different in the outside world when you got outside of Compton?
Um, I I don't know. I mean, my mom and dad divorced when I was young, so I was always kind of moving around here and there, see it goes. I saw her house. She was married to a kind of a well-off guy. My dad wasn't. My dad was a diesel mechanic. She was a nurse at the time. She had or started dating some rich dude. So I got to go to like a nice area of Long Beach, California, and then I got to see, oh, okay, there's some money over here. So I guess, when I was 10, 11 years old, probably first time really getting out of Compton area into like Lakewood, Long Beach, Cerritos, got to see that area, which was a lot different.
Yeah, my oldest daughter is from Long Beach. Her mom's there. I got five kids. I got
Oh,
one black, one white, and three Mexicans.
oh,
So
got you. You got a team.
I got a squad. I
Yeah,
need one coming off the bench, but I need to retire.
no
You
doubt.
know, Speaking back, before football ever became a career for you, what was it when you first started football? What was it about the game that really attracted you?
Ah, man. Just the violence. I like hitting at the time. I played safety starting off. Safety and quarterback. I was playing safety and quarterback, man, and I never played Pop Warner. I played flag.
Yeah.
So I played flag football, and my dad was like, "I'll make you a better tackler," and whoopty whoopty whoop when you get to pads. California don't have junior high and elementary school pads like they do in other states. Northern California actually does play middle school pads. For some reason, Southern California, due to the insurance and everything else, I'm sure, never did. So I didn't get to, and I didn't have money, so I didn't have to. We didn't get to play padded football, and I didn't play Pop Warner, so I played flag, and then I didn't play my first padded football until high school. So first time I hit somebody, I was like, oh shit, all right, and so I loved it from that point on, and just watching the game as a fan and a historian of the game and the sport. That's what kind of drew me to it. And then my dad played, obviously, and my uncle played professional for the Niners. Um, Played at UCLA, so I had it in my blood. So I was like, all right. And he was a coach. He was a
Yeah.
football coach in college, Chico State, before they folded, and high school. So I kind of grew up in it.
Yeah, I know. I'm from, as I said, Montgomery, Alabama. Dude, we start playing in pads. If you're old enough to put on a helmet and your head
Right.
not flip over, we're playing. So when I first moved out here and they played flag, I was like, what the
Yeah.
hell is this? So it was definitely culture shock for me the reverse way.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. California, man, I don't know why they never play padded
I
football.
think you hit the nail on the head, man. It's the legalities of it. They're so sue happy here that like I have to sign a fucking waiver for everything. Whereas in Alabama, you
Yeah,
shake somebody's hand and your word is your bond. Here it is
yeah, it's a
not.
whole another ball game.
When did you realize that you could make a career out of football?
Uh, Shit, man. I was a late bloomer actually.
Yeah,
So I didn't actually. I backed up a kid that was the coach's son.
yeah.
He was all-time California State passing leader for a long time, and then I replaced him my senior year, and for the same guy that coached his father, and then got to play. Wasn't developed yet really, and then I went junior college route after a Prop 48 deal. Went to jail, did a bunch of dumb shit, came back out, went to junior college, and I kind of matured that way, and I just had the skill set to get it out. Broke a bunch of California passing records in junior college, and then I got a scholarship to New Mexico with Brian Urlacher. He was my trip guy, and he's on the show now, on my show quite often, and it was funny. And then I got there. I'm there for a few months, and my clock was cooked. I couldn't go. They found out my D1 clock was up because I started my clock back in the day when that mattered. Nowadays, you can just be Pavia and sue the NCAA and get it. But I played JUCO. So I go D2 sight unseen to Kansas with my daughter in my hand at the time, who was 6 months old, and I played for a guy who was Coach Peyton Manning, was a legendary Kansas junior college guy, Corey Dillon, Kwame Lassiter, coached a bunch of legends, and then he was the head coach at a place called Fort Hays State. I go there sight unseen with my daughter. 2 year starter there, broke their school records in 2 years in a 4 year school. And I got a shot with the Chiefs. I got a shot in the NFL Europe, played arena football. I did all that. I got to play, extend my college career, and probably had a 0 or to 1% chance of doing that. And I did it because I had a quick release and a strong arm, and I was a student of the game. So it kind of helped me that way. And that's when I knew when I couldn't make it on an NFL roster long term, I said, let me start coaching. And I immediately said, I'm not going to go back and play Europe or Arena League. I stopped. And so I stopped playing and I went right into coaching in early 2000.
All right. So let me ask you this. What did football teach you off of the field?
Off the field, relationship building. That's what it is. It's all about relationships. So, like I said on Netflix, I'm as JUCO as JUCO gets. I was about relationships, building relationships, getting that relationship. Um, you know, Getting a kid where he could not get himself.
Yeah,
It always that's what kind of got my dick hard, man. I,
yeah,
I wanted to see guys succeed, and coaching definition is getting you where you could not get yourself. That's literally the definition from the stagecoach era. So I got guys where they could not get themselves. So I had every fuck up in America that came to me and played because they needed some sort of rehab or I called it football jail. You got to get in and out of my place to get on to the next level, and that's why I've had the success. 28 NFL guys, 8 Super Bowl champs. 222 guys Division One. Never had a guy arrested or thrown in jail or any of those things. That's the number one thing I care about. I didn't give a shit about wins and losses. It was about getting those guys and seeing their success. 182 guys got BA degrees. 28 of them got masters. That's the shit that matters to me. And now there's 13 of them coaching D1 that played or coached for me.
yeah. I think when you come from shit, it helps you to want to teach and help others. Let me ask you this. With these, most of these kids come from chaos and shitty situations. What is it the first thing that you try to instill in them to help get them to the next level?
That nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. Stop feeling sorry and playing victim. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares when the ambulance is behind you and your mom pulls over to the side and you get immediately right behind to drive and drive again. You don't think about who's in the ambulance, if they got shot, if they killed, or they dead. Nobody gives a fuck. So I said, nobody cares. Stop thinking and that someone does. And if you say something, mean it. That's the thing that I wanted to instill, because at the end of the day, every day is an interview and somebody's always watching you. And I used to tell these guys all the time, I mean, listen, man, if you don't think that, if you think somebody's going to care, wait till your funeral hits when nobody shows up. People don't care, so you have to do it yourself. And at the end of the day, I taught these guys to be the CEO of themselves. If you don't know everything about yourself and what it takes to go from point A to point B, meaning what does it take to graduate? What's my GPA need to be? How do I need to transfer out of this school? What does the new school want? What's my major going to be? How do I play the game? We all can play games. How do I play the game? And that is what I kind of taught them in the overall scope of things. And that was what the main thing was, man. Nobody cares. Victim shit, all that shit's out the window. At the end of the day, be on time, represent yourself in a manner that is conducive for long-term success. That's what these kids don't have a clue about, because nobody told them the truth. And at the end of the day, you either coach it or you allow it. So you allow it or you coach it. It's real simple. So
Preach.
I just
Preach.
didn't allow it.
You know, my oldest daughter, her mom died of brain cancer. And when she was in high school, one of the things that I told her all the time is, I understand that's a difficult thing, but in the grand scheme of things, people don't give a fuck. They really don't care that your mom died. They really don't care that you're biracial and you feel uncomfortable. That comes across as harsh, but that's the brutality of what this world is. And at the end of the day, that shit wears off and people don't really care.
Nobody cares, man.
No, not. I read this thing. It's funny you said the thing about a funeral. It said usually 10 people come to your funeral, and of that, if it's raining, 50% of them don't come.
Yeah.
And after 1 year, none of them, like the 1%, end up visiting your grave.
You know
So
what a funeral's good for? For the bar after.
that and weddings. I tried marriage twice, and I'm happily single. Never would
Oh,
do it again.
never been close.
Don't try it. Don't try it.
No, never will.
Looking back now, what is one mistake that you think you made in your life that really taught you something about yourself?
Um, I don't know if I had a mistake, man. I don't look at that like that. I don't look in the rearview mirror at all.
Yeah.
I took the rearview mirrors out of our buses for a reason. I made it a statement. We don't look in the rearview mirror. It deters you from looking forward. Number one. Number two, I ain't going that fucking way.
Yeah.
So I don't I don't have regrets whatsoever. You can call me whatever you want, narcissist and all this shit. Well, guess what? Most people and leaders of men are. Because if you're not, you're fucking probably a beta male that gets ran through and told what to do as the leader. And that's not a leader. That's a follower. And leaders create more leaders last time I checked. So I never look back and say I regret something. We all admit, we might admit that we did something wrong. I never apologize for shit. I'll admit. I say, hey, man, I was wrong. You're right. Good shit. Everybody is, and everybody has flaws. But I don't apologize, because people that apologize, in my opinion, are fake. You still continue to do the same shit you apologize for. So what the fuck is it? A word? It's just a word. You'll never hear me apologize for shit, because I don't apologize. People come out with these fake ass fucking apologies all the time, and I'm like, this is the third fucking time you've done it. At some point, that's who the fuck you are. So why don't you just own the shit? And that's who you are. That's who I am. I'm fucking who I am. I'm not gonna apologize for who I am. And so I don't look back and say there's something that, I got a daughter I don't fuck with. I don't talk to. She's 28. She's a grown ass woman. It's time for her to shit or get off the pot. I raised her as a youngster myself, a single parent in college and on to professional football. Then then Netflix found her, because her mom is if you Google the fucking devil, that's who the fuck pops up. So that's just what it is. And so listen, you can say, I guess you could say that would be it. But then at the end of the day, I wasn't a deadbeat. I tried my shit. At some point, I look at it like this. My mom's not doing well health-wise, but at the same time, we had our little beef. We didn't talk for a while. And I said, well, fuck, if she passed away and I don't fix it, it's on me. I'm the son. I'm the younger one. I'm the son. She had me, birthed me, etc. I would feel like shit and be the shitbird in this whole situation. So I've mended those fences and we're cool now. That's how I look at my daughter too. It's your time now. I did my fucking part more than enough. And now it's your time to figure out that you're grown. And it's your fucking time to figure out that you didn't have a deadbeat dad, that you were lied to by the deadbeat mom, which, and if you didn't know, 99% are the deadbeat moms out there, not the dad. That's why dads have multiple babies with multiple women, because the women continue to push the man out. And then the man wanted to be a father, but you didn't allow them to be. So you went and tried to seek safe haven with another broad, and you had another kid. Now, if you did this 12 times, then you're a shitbird too. But I'm just saying a
I
couple
did it.
times.
Hey, I did it. I did it 3 times.
Yeah,
Three
see?
times, 5 kids. Hey, look, but like you said, it's one of those things. I got off the pot.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, this deadbeat dad shit is so bullshit. It's so overrated. It's the mothers are 99% more deadbeat than the father
I
ever
take
is.
care. I take not of any 5 of mine. Can any one of them say I don't take care of business and
Especially in
take
the inner
care of
city, man. If you ever notice, I think fathers get a bad rap because the mom, um, uh, courts are for the mom. They're favored the
it?
mom
100%.
when it comes to, custody. So when the father has no money and they're 20 years old, 21, now you can argue they shouldn't have kids at 20, 21. Fine. That's an argument we could discuss. But the other side of it is we don't have the money. We have to get a pro bono attorney. We have to show up to court, fight that we lose. They get the kid. They get the custody. You try to see them. The mom keeps you away, even though she's out fucking partying and chilling and doing all the shit just to keep you away from the kid out of spite. You'll never see him. Years go by. The kid's 13, 14. You miss their high school graduation. You miss them going to college. All the shit. Then they get grown and find out you were the right one the whole time. The mom lied to you. And then it's too late. Well, there's no getting that time back. Time you can't get back. And that's the mom. The mom does that over and over and over all across the world, America especially. And that's why you get this tab deadbeat father. Well, there's really some truth to that. The females actually keep the father out of this thing, and that's more often than not.
100%. You know, you're a very polarizing figure. How do you deal with people misunderstanding you? And I feel like a lot of your answers, just to be honest, we're very much alike. You're the Compton version, I'm the Montgomery version. So our answers are going to be a lot alike. But let me ask you the question.
How do I handle
Being
being
misunderstood.
misjudged, misunderstood? I don't handle it. I don't give a fuck. I don't really give a fuck whatsoever. There's 2 people in the world I trust, me and the other one ain't you. Number 1. Yeah, I could give a fuck less. Number 2, I've never worried or been hurt by getting stabbed in the back. The part you have to worry about is when you turn around and see who's holding the knife. So what happens is when you turn around and see who's holding the knife and say, holy fuck, after 35 years, you stabbed me in the back? So when I realized that as an adult, I said, all right, there's nothing I can do or say to fully entrust your loyalty, and that's why I have dogs. And I have a very fucking small circle, like sphincter-sized circle, and I'll keep it that way. And that's just what it is. I don't trust anybody, number 1. And number 2, the truth's the truth no matter who tells it. Last time I checked. So you can say I'm a hater, I'm this, I'm that. At the end of the day, you're basically a fucking nobody. At the end of the day, these people that say it are absolute nobodies. They hide behind cell phones. They have 0 profile pictures, 0 followers. They make an account up to troll you, whatever they call it nowadays. I don't know what the fuck they call it. That's who they are. That's what the social media has created. And it's only getting worse with AI. And there's
Yeah.
no more communication in person anymore. There's no more of these young punk-ass kids won't open a door for a grandma. They won't carry their groceries. They won't do anything like it. They'll actually rob them instead of help them. Where even the most gangster killer motherfuckers that I grew up with would always respect the elderly. And that's why people in athletics usually were safe and around gangbangers and in hoods where we grew up, because they knew athletes, well, man, you're athletes, we don't bang, blah, 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 blah. Nowadays, these motherfuckers are so cowardly that we've created these hard heads and soft asses amongst us. that I will never apologize, like I said, and I really could give two squirts of piss what you think, because at the end of the day, these people that judge you are absolute comical to me. They act as if they know our space when they don't. They fucking bag groceries at Walmart, and then they tell me that I'm a shitty coach. And I'm like, really? Well, drop your fucking resume. And the problem is they can never drop their resume, and they've never helped as many kids or people, period, that I have, that I continue to do. And that's the problem. These fucking nobodies, is what I call them, are the ones that are actually the loudest voice, and actually, unbelievably sad, the minority nowadays doesn't allow the majority to speak because they'll cancel you. And
Quick.
it's the minority. It's really not the majority, but it seems like the minority is the majority, and it's really not. But the cancel culture is the minority, which looks like the majority, because the majority who speak the fact and the truth get canceled, so you don't hear them. So that's why I say what I say and do what I do, and I can really give a fuck less. If you're that soft, then fuck, don't be around me. And I let the room know
Same.
that. I let the room know that when I walk in. So at least I let you know.
I'm the same. Let me ask you, what's one standard that you refuse to lower no matter what?
My integrity, character. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever. I got truth serum pumped through my veins, man. I'm just gonna tell you the truth no matter what. I'm not a yes man either. If I got a buddy that's fucking doing something, like a friend of mine who's doing something that he shouldn't, I told him, "What the fuck are you doing?" If I don't tell you that, then I see. The thing is, friends and loyal people, I don't know if people realize, they don't. It's not about what they say in your face. It's about what they do behind your back. That's a true friend. So, like,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you in your face the same thing I'm going to say behind your back. We got too many people that talk good about you in your face, but then behind your back, they're sitting there talking about, oh, JB's a motherfucking bitch. No, I'm actually promoting you behind your back and telling you the truth in your face. See, there's a difference. I'm not going to whisper sweet nothings to you and then go fucking stab you in the back to the homies. That's what we have nowadays. And it's very, very
100%.
ironic. It's very ironic that people don't realize, like, you start a brand or a launch of whiskey or cigars or vodka that I have or whatever, sell a book, make a best-selling book. How many friends do you know actually buy that shit?
Or promote it.
Less than 1%. I'm just telling you right now.
Thank you. 100%. 100. That's why I said
I got
I
a
keep
whiskey
my
line.
circle.
I got a whiskey and a cigar line and a vodka line. If you don't like my shit, cool. Tell me that as my boy. But don't buy fucking Ciroc and promote and endorse this cat that you don't know. And by the way, who will never fucking know you, will never like you, hang out with you, kick it with you.
No matter how many times you retweet, no matter how many times you,
But when your homie starts something, you don't even buy it and endorse it, and you don't support it. But then you're over there. Come on, man. That's when you know what real is. So I could never do that. Now, if I don't like it, I say, hey, man, that's shitty, but I'm gonna buy it and promote it. But I drink fucking Grey Goose. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. I
but at
get
least I'm
that.
gonna tell you. At
Yeah.
least I'm gonna tell you. I'm a, I'm
But
a, I'm the
for never buy it. Yeah.
I'm the same way. I deal with people all the time that people will tell you the reason they fuck with me is the same thing. I'm gonna tell you what it is, and it is
Yes.
what it is.
Yeah.
So let's switch over. Let's talk about the transfer portal, NIL. My school is the University of Florida. We just lost Lagway to the transfer portal. Uh, what do you think that says about the state of University of Florida right now? Where do you think they're at?
I don't know if it's the state of Florida or not. I think it's just what college football is. It's the landscape that we've created. The grown folks in the room have created a landscape where you pay kids to play instead of paying them for what they've done. There's a huge difference. The NFL, you get paid for what you do on your resume prior to getting the money. College, we're paying guys prior to showing me what you're worth. Totally flipped upside down, this world we're in. It's an absolute mockery. Florida, and just like everyone else, Michigan's going to lose a lot of players too when they hire a coach.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's specifically Florida. I think Napier is a mid-major, good level mid-major coach. But big fish eat little fish. Sometimes when you're the big fish in the little pond, you should stay in that fucking little pond, because Mark Few at Gonzaga has shown you that's why he never left the little pond. He liked being the big fish. He knew not to go to UCLA or Duke or Kentucky when he was offered, because he would become the small fish. And
Yep.
that's just what we don't understand anymore. And nowadays at Florida, Michigan, Clemson this year, a lot of different places. Florida State's down. You got people that are unrealistic, and number one, and number two, you have allowed these kids to quit and worry about, instead of facing the adversity and competition and beating someone out, now you can just leave, and we create what I call bitch made cats. And that's what we've created. And we don't want to develop anymore. We don't want to create tough skin. We don't give a fuck about academics. I don't know why you keep saying student athlete. They're not. We got to stop saying that. They're not. It's pay to play. These kids are going to 4 schools in 4 years. We got 7-year guys that are playing. We got guys petitioning, like Pavi and all these fucks petitioning more years. And then the ungratefulness of these fucking punk kids is, you would have never even been on that fucking Heisman panel if you didn't get extended by the NCAA. Your years are cooked, but you got more years. You wouldn't even have been on the fucking panel last year or 2 years ago at New Mexico or fucking wherever. So the bullshit, and then you repay them by saying "fuck you, voters." The audacity and the absolute just secondhand embarrassment I get from watching these kids is what the cringe-worthy part of it is. Like my skin crawls, because I'm like, you fucking 91 years of the Heisman and you say fuck the voters. There's no integrity, no character. You show me who you are, and you're not even that fucking good. Number one, you're not an NFL guy, and you would have never been on a Heisman panel if you didn't fucking get more years added to your fucking schedule. FYI, it just, we're the most gimme, and I don't want to give you shit back in return. And I'm so enabled because we've entitled them as the adults. We created this landscape, and I don't think you'll ever get that pace back in that tube. I think we're cooked, and I don't believe it's just a Florida issue, man. I think you have a lot of issues across the country. There's probably 5 schools that can fire a coach, hire a new staff, and fund NIL, and get new facilities. There's only a handful of those places, and to have a 12-team playoff is an absolute mockery, because if it's the 12 best teams, why are we got 2 20-point underdogs in round 1?
Yeah, Pavia's got Theo Vaughn now, even politicianing for him, with him to get into the NFL. I personally, no
Oh, he's fucking him
disrespect to
off.
him, I don't think he's big enough. All that runaround shit doesn't happen whenever you get to the league.
No, it doesn't. And he's fucking his mom. That's why. I know Theo. I know Theo well, man. And listen, Theo's a good dude, but goddamn, come on, man. The kid ain't that good.
Hold on. Yeah, he definitely isn't. And I 100%, Theo's definitely sliding off into the dark side. How damaging do you think the constant turnover is gonna be for locker room accountability?
Oh, that's out the window. That's done. Because the coach now has to speak to 2 different parts of the team. One guy that gets him $2 million, the other guy gets $300. The average NIL deal still in America is less than $500. So let's not act like everyone's getting millions. They're not. It's not sustainable either. This model's not sustainable, and it's going to end up imploding the college football world as we know it, because not only is there going to be less and less teams that are competitive, even though we keep growing the playoffs. So we're going to have blowout, kids opting out, not playing. The bowl games are meaningless. We didn't even know. Did you know there was a bowl game last night?
I had no. I hit ESPN and I looked and I saw people don't even watch. Dude, back in the day, it
Big
was
time.
like I
Yeah.
would have it scheduled. Like,
Big,
but
yeah.
there's so many of these players that are opting out
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
are not there. I
Why
mean,
watch
some
it?
of these players are fucking quitting as soon as their team gets 2 or 3 losses. they opt out for the rest of the year and go start working with the development coach or whatever, which is a joke within itself because most of these guys never fucking made it in the league themselves. So how are you going to guide me to get to the league if you never even got there yourself?
Yeah, it's social media. It's all a joke, man. It's
I know, right?
such a PR stunt, and it is so many bad things going on. I don't even know where to begin. I talk about it every day on the show. It's just ridiculous, how far we've fallen, man. We used to develop. We used to actually mean something. I got a degree from Florida.
Yeah.
Where's your degree? Where do you claim now? Where do these kids
I am
claim?
I'm originally from Alabama. I moved to Tampa, Florida. The way I became a Florida fan, I moved to Tampa, Florida in middle school. Grew up an Auburn fan because I'm from Montgomery.
Right.
Moved to Tampa in middle school, and my stepdad's dad was the Swamp People before the fucking show.
Yeah.
Like, had part of his lip ripped off where a gator flipped back and hit his. And he was like, made me at a flea market take my Auburn shirt off and put on a Florida shirt. I don't have a degree, but I'm a diehard Florida Gator fan.
But see, if you ask these kids, where's your degree from? They can't answer you. They've gone to 4 schools in 4 years. You know what it does is it's created more unemployment is what it's going to do. Because
Yeah.
in 5 years, when you don't make it to the NFL, like 99% of these guys won't, which is another fucking problem that they don't want to face the truth. Because we're adults in the room are lying to them. Not everyone's going to make it. 99% are going to go home and get into the workspace or get on fucking YouTube or whatever they do now. We sit there and act like we're going to make it when we're not. And we got to tell these guys, you're not going to make it. So where are you going back to get something? So I know Roy Williams, a lot of other guys, prominent Oklahoma Sooner, played for the Cowboys, Super Bowl champ. You know what he does now? He fucking is the CEO of a car dealership that was owned by the biggest booster at Oklahoma in Norman during his time at Norman. You know how many stories of those are out there from guys that are alumni? Guess what? Where are these guys going back to now?
Nowhere, because they ain't got no home. They're fucking nomads.
You fucked this NIL guy who gave you $1 million. You left after 1 year. You left him high and dry. You go to this other guy at LSU. Now you left him after a year. You took $2 million. Now you're at Florida, and you just left there, and now you're fucking in the portal. Nobody's giving you a job after this. And you have no diploma to hang on your wall to get a job.
And if I'm an employer and you come in and you've been to 5 different schools, do you think I'm going to see disloyalty and you're going to jump ship? I'm not going to hire you. Let me ask you, if you were on Florida, advising Florida staff, University of Florida staff today, what would you tell them the first thing they would need to fix would be?
Themselves. The AD should be fired. He's a horrible leader of men. Lane wanted that job. I know Lane personally. Lane wanted that job. That was his dream job. They fucked him because they told him he needed to get a GM. He didn't want to get a GM, and if he did want to get a GM, he wanted his own GM and hire him himself. There's no coach in America that has success that does not have full autonomy. Florida has not allowed their head coach to have full autonomy since Urban Meyer, and that's subsequently the last time they won. So that's what they don't understand. Coaches and head coaches are alpha males for the most part. We're all narcissistic. I don't want to hear. That's what we do, and we need to be left alone and allow us to have autonomy, hiring and firing power, and some demand in the program. And football is number one because we fund the campus. We make the computer labs, the math labs. We create all that. We give you the bodies to teach, Mr. Science Teacher, contrary to belief, which they don't want to believe and understand, but it's the truth. So what happens is when you say, oh, no, we're going to hire the guy, then that's where you're not going to get the guy.
Do you think Summerall is going to be the guy?
No.
How long do you think he'll last?
3-4 years. That's what they do. He's a good mid-major guy. And listen, he's a good guy. No coach. He's a good dude, but that's not the guy they wanted. And that guy wanted to go to Auburn or Ole Miss, but guess what? Auburn told him you got to keep the current head coach as your DC. He said, no, I want to hire my own guy. See what I mean? This is the problem. So That's why you got Golish, who's a good guy. I know Golish a long time too, but that's not their first guy. And the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes fell through for Florida and so many others that then you had to go to round 2 and 3 and 4, and in Penn State and Michigan's case, round 5, 6, 7. And Michigan don't even have a guy right now because it was such a late firing. And now what's happened is the schedule of the NCAA has ruined this thing. I don't like how Lane did what he did, but at the same time, we can't sit here and say, well, what do? You don't allow a guy to leave and go better himself or get more money when everyone, if the fucking Walmart manager got a $50,000 raise to go to Target to be the manager, he's going. Nobody's talking about that guy. And the players leave every fucking day, and coaches have been leaving forever for better jobs. But guess what? We're also 40-plus years old, been in the business, and a grown-ass man who continues to raise kids and have a wife or a family. We should be able to do what we want. We've earned the right. You 17 to 20-year-olds have no fucking idea how to change the oil in your car. But you want to dictate to us that we can't leave and you want more money? Get the fuck out of here. That's the problem. We've flipped this thing upside down. 17-year-olds and 40-year-old coaches who put kids through college and got degrees and got scholarships for hundreds of players prior to you are not the same. So stop putting 17 and 21-year-olds on the same. Oh, they're grown men. No, they're not. They're not a grown man, and they have no fucking idea how to even fucking change the brakes on their car. Yet, Georgia, LSU, and all these other places, we've seen the deaths, the DUIs, the speeding crashes, because we give a guy a fucking keys to a Lamborghini because you've given him $3 million and you haven't even learned how to drive a fucking Prius yet. There's steps to this shit. There's a reason why we were fucking raised different to understand that there's a pecking order and thing. We got to sit at the table, eat dinner with our parents, or we're going to get slapped the fuck. My dad would make me wear my dinner if I didn't do that. There was no option. Nowadays, it's the kid interrupts the coach or the grown-up to tell them, well, I'm going to do it this way. Really? We would have got fucking castrated.
Mauled.
So, this is the difference. We've allowed it instead of coached it, and it was flipped back in the day, and that's why you see what this generation is doing.
What do you think they're going to do with Sharon Moore?
Who's they?
Well, first of all, University of Michigan, they've already cut him. What do you think they're going to do post Sharon Moore? I mean, he's going to jail, I'm pretty sure. I don't think he'll ever be able to he'll be convicted, I'm pretty sure. He won't be able to get a job. Who do you think Michigan's going to get? It's the last dance. We're late in the game.
Yeah, I don't think Sharon's going to have any issues. Legally, I think it's all fugazi and all that shit's bullshit. I've known Sharon 30 years. He's a Kansas dude that went to Derby High School. I've known guys that coached him. I think it's all bullshit. I think him and his wife and everybody all played this game together. That's a whole other story. Yeah, that's a whole other story. I don't believe the hype that's going on. I know some people on the staff, and I've known some other things that have happened there that media blew out. If he beat Ohio State, he'd still be the coach. Fact.
100%. I agree with that.
You can't go to jail and do something illegal if you're still going to be the coach if you beat Ohio State. so we in the media blow shit out. I didn't hear shit about Belichick fucking a 22-year-old at 80. So here's the issue: the Michigan's behind the 8 ball. So whoever they can pluck away from someone else, guess what? That person that currently has that guy right now is trying not to be Michigan, because then they'll be fucking 2 months behind. And then that guy so there's a snowball effect from the Penn State hire on to now, getting Campbell and now Michigan moving on from him. Who do they pluck away? The other school that they get their guys, they're going to all ante up and have to pay guys to keep them right now. Lincoln Riley, Kenny Dillingham, all these names you hear. It's because they don't want to become Michigan and them being a lame duck school. Because remember, there's 2 things the NCAA allows. Coach gets fired, you can leave. And a new coach gets hired and you don't like him, you can leave. So
which Michigan, is crazy.
Yeah, Michigan now has 2 portals in essence, which allows the big dogs in the country to actually have another portal as well, because they can get in and pluck these kids after January. So they have to make a critical hire here. And I don't believe in Taylor Lewan and all these other guys that played at Michigan and saying they need to jump and expedite the hire. No, you don't. because if you do, you're just hiring a guy and you're still going to lose your players anyway. Probably a quarterback you've paid $3 million to, and all these other guys. If you wait and hire the right guy for the next 10 years, that is where you need to go right now. There's no right guy right now expeditiously. Who are you going to hire? Lane Kiffin's gone. You had 13 job openings, Michigan, and your coach, Sharon Moore, wasn't going to get an interview at any of them. And yet, the irony of it is you're a top 3 program in America at Michigan, but you have a coach who couldn't interview at another school that was open because that's the situation at Michigan. You probably didn't want to hire him from the jump. Harbaugh won the Natty. He filled in for him, so they felt some sort of way. They put him in there, and they waited for him to lose to Ohio State. They didn't expect him to beat Ohio State the first couple years. So that is where you are, and this was their way out, and I believe that he's getting a little bit of a short stick on this. But I think they were all running some, doing some freaky ass shit. I've talked to a couple of the OnlyFans girls involved in this. One's gonna be
He
on
was
my
doing
show.
some Diddy shit.
I mean, the wife, they're all, I think, chilling. Why hasn't the wife taken the kids and ran? So you're telling me a white lady married to a brother with kids who just got put on blast, who has been viral and trending on social media for the last week, embarrassed for her kids and herself. Why wouldn't she take the kids and get the fuck out of Dodge? Why is she still by his side when he leaves jail? Why are the kids still there? The kids have been put on blast at every one of their schools because she's in on it. They've been doing this. Why did the wife and the girl he was cheating with, they say cheating, I think it was just allowed, why are they friends on Instagram? Come on, man. It's all bullshit.
Ooh, I just watched the Diddy special that 50 Cent did. So look, I'm looking at everything that you're saying. I'm like, oh, this is some Diddy shit.
Yeah.
All right, look, let's finalize. I know you got to get some shit done. What's one truth about college football today that parents or young players and parents need to hear, but they won't like? Because you're the only one that's going to give it to them real.
Say it again.
What is one truth about college football today that young players and parents need to hear? And the reason I'm asking you is because you're the only one that's going to give them the real deal.
Yeah, it's a results-oriented business. There's nothing else to be said. It's a results-oriented business. You either win at it or you lose at it. There's no gray area. Winners fuck the prom queen, losers jack off. There's nothing else to say. People give these fucking moral victory speeches. It's like, no, you lost. You're a loser. The last time I checked, when I walk off the field, whatever the scoreboard said, there was a fucking winner and a loser. That's why it's football. There's no ties. There's no, so that's your fucking NFL that's so goddamn soft that they've created this narrative that you can have a tie now.
Shaduki Sanders.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, man. The quarterback plays so bad and egregious in the NFL is because of what we're doing in college, by the way, in high school, 7-on-7 and so many other things. But the NFL is only getting worse at quarterback. When that happens, then that's when the product has become bad. Because without a good quarterback, the product will never be good. That's why the USFL, UFL, XFL, Canadian Football League are shitty. There's not enough good quarterbacks to go around. If there was, you'd have sustainable leagues all around. Why do those leagues fold up? Because the quarterback is shitty. So the NFL is seeing that right now. You're seeing, I did on my show today, let's go back to 18 and look at all the 4,000 and 5,000 yard passers with over 35 touchdowns. Look at it right now. There's not a 4,000-yard passer this year. There's only Matthew Stafford, who's the best quarterback in football at 37 years old, holding it down with 37 touchdowns, and he'll hit 4,000 yards. And they're playing more games than they did in 18. So, like, and you're protected more than ever. You can't get hit at quarterback. You can't touch the wide receiver. The kickoff rule is fucking feminine. All the shit that you've seen, and we have less offensive production at the quarterback spot, and you're telling me it's better than ever? Get the fuck out of here. It's horrible. And
I agree.
We might be better athletes at the position. That doesn't mean you're a better quarterback. So
100%.
We have to understand this is a result-oriented business. You win or you lose. There's no gray area. And that goes for coaches, same thing. Players, same thing. everyone involved in this business is result oriented. There's no gray area. There's no sweet nothings to whisper to you. I missed the field goal last second against the number one seed. Well, you lost. I don't understand. People act like there's this thing. If it was so easy, we'd all have the winning lotto numbers. It doesn't work that way.
100%. 100%. Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on today. I appreciate you always keeping it real. A lot of people give you shit, but I appreciate it. Everybody looking or watching, do yourself a favor and go follow the Coach JB show. I appreciate you, bro. Take it easy, and we'll see you next week on the front porch.
Always.
Take it easy, Coach.
All right, brother. Peace.
All right, Bob.